Once upon a time, there was a storybook called Fairyland. Fairyland was a magical world where fairies and monsters live. There was a fairy who was named Heartfelt. She was praised by her willingness and fire in her heart. She was also known for her beauty, her kindness. The ruler of the fairy praised her and loved her. So, Heartfelt to help the fairies be free from those who hurt her people. She loved her animal and everyone. My heart felt like falling in love. She was happy where she belonged. The Heartfelt will be forever known as the Queen of Hearts. I will never get tired of this story, said Aristotle. Her smile was bright and happy. Aristotle put the book down and went to bed. But Aristotle felt something like she was in a dream. She sees a land with magic and small creatures. Then she wakes up, falling from the sky and landing on the ground. Where am I? Said Aristotle, in deep concern. She got up and explored where she was. Then something hit her head. A loud bang knocked her out, and she was dragged away. After she woke up, she didn't know where she was, but she saw a small fairy who was tied up in chains. That, when she knew she was in the heart, felt like a fairy story. She heard the guard say, "Hello, Heartfelt." Aristotle was shocked and said she wasn't, but the guards didn't believe her. Aristotle wanted to be free and go home, so she made it her mission to go home. Aristotle spent so many days in this experimental jail cell, and she found Heartfelt love. The one Heartfelt married. His name was Sam. Aristotle thought she was bored, but now Simon came into her life. She was happy, and she started falling in love. Simon was a fairy, who was tall and perfect for her. Aristotle thought after she found someone, she felt betrayed. Simon left the experiment factory, leaving Aristotle behind. Aristotle had so many emotions running in her, but it was heartbreak and anger in her. He knew how she felt about her. He knew she wanted to go back home, but Simon still left her. Aristotle knew she had to leave, so she had all the fairies plan to rebel against the bad fairy, which happened with chaos. Aristotle felt like a leader. After they were free from the battle, the fairies went home, but Aristotle was still in the fairy world. She saw Simon, and all she could do was yell and be mad at Simon, and left Simon there and looked for her home. Aristotle ran outside to see if she was home, but no sign. So she walks in the fairyland, hearing fairies talk bad and good about their ruler, queen of all fairies. Arista knew she couldn't go back home anymore. A small fairy passed by and asked her for her name. Aristotle said, "I am Aristotle, and I am 14. The fairy looked shocked and said, "Would you want to stay at my family house?" Aristotle's eyes lit up and said yes. After Aristotle stayed there with the random family, a couple of the ruler guard came and took the fairy and her family. Aristotle ran away and saw they burn the fairy's house down. She looked around and saw a bunch of creatures and fairies' houses getting burned and saw them get taken away. Aristotle screamed as she saw a child almost get taken away. She told the guards to take her instead of that child. The guard grabbed her and took her away. Aristotle was back where they experimented with new outfits, and the new experiment made it look like school. Aristotle made some friends that had problems and always were on their fairy book phones. They would make fun of her and would call her rude names and body shame her, and try to make Aristotle look like them. Aristotle hated it, and she hated everything, so she knew that she would be stuck in this dystopian Heartfelt. Then she will be Heartfelt, but she thought about what happens to the real story. She has been lying all her years. And now she is stuck in the real story of Heartfelt, and now she is Heartfelt. But what happens if there was another world? If it was just happy, and the original story, or there was a world where why the Queen of Fairies would do this to her people? Aristotle said, "It is time to become the Heartfelt Fairy."